Hello everyone, I'm William. Now we would like to share with you the financial ratio of Tenaga Nasional Berhad Company. Before that, I would like to introduce myself and also my team members. My name is Tulfatin Suhaila binti Muhammad Sabir. My other team members are Adam Haziq bin Azarman, Muhammad Daniel Aiman, Masturina binti Azmi, and also Farahanan binti Muhammad Jamil. Now, I will pass this presentation to my team members to share with you the company's background.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Farahana binti Muhammad Jamil. Okay, our group we present on the Tenaga Nasional Berhad financial statement. Okay, Tenaga Nasional Berhad we call as TNB is a prominent and influential electric utility company headquartered in Malaysia. In 1949, TNB has emerged as the principal provider of electricity in the country, playing important roles in powering the nation's economic growth and development. TNB also undergone the significant transformation and expansion involving into the fully integrated utility that encompasses power generation, transmission and distribution service, with a focus on the cutting edge on the technology and operational efficiency. TNB continue to modernize its infrastructure and embrace their digitalization to meet the evolving demands of the energy landscapes. Okay, TNB also actively engaged in community development, promoting social welfare, education and environment conservation of its commitment to the operational social responsibility. As the government-linked corporation, TNB strategy innovative align with the national agenda, contributing significant to the country economic progress and social welfare. As it continue to drive innovation, sustainability and customer centricity, the TNB remain to pursue of delivering reliable and accessible electricity to power the nation growth and enrich the life of Malaysians.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Masturina Azmi. Will present the liquidity ratio. Liquidity ratio is a type of financial ratio that is being used to determine a company's ability to meet its short-term obligation and known as the ability of the company to convert asset into cash quickly. There are three common elements in liquidity ratio, which is current ratio, quick ratio and cash ratio. Current ratio, the formula is current asset over current liabilities. The purpose of the current ratio is to measure how far the claim for short-term creditors are covered by current asset. For Tenaga Nasional Berhad, they have recorded a current ratio of 13 cents in 2021 compared to the year 2022. Where they only get 96 cents. This has shown that Tenaga Nasional Berhad are able to pay their short-term creditors in both 2021 and 2022. Quick ratio. The formula is current asset minus inventory and divide current liabilities. The purpose of quick ratio is to measure the firm's ability to pay off its short-term obligation without having to rely on the sale of inventory and prepaid. Tenaga Nasional Berhad has recorded a total 12% quick ratio in 2021, while they get a total of 95% quick ratio for the year 2022. This has proven that Tenaga Nasional Berhad are able to meet their short-term obligation without having to rely on the sale of inventory and prepaid. Lastly, cash ratio. The formula is cash divided current liabilities. Cash ratio are purposely to measure the ability of the company to cover all current liabilities immediately without having to liquidate other assets. Based on the calculation that we have, Tenaga Nasional Berhad has utilized their cash efficiently because the amount they get in the cash ratio is below than 1. To be more precise, they have recorded an amount of 13 cents of cash ratio in 2021 and 2 cents cash ratio in 2022, where it is considered that Tenaga Nasional Berhad has utilized their asset well to gain profit. Based on these three ratios, we can conclude that Tenaga Nasional Berhad has recorded a slight decline in their management of short-term assets in 2022 compared to 2021, but the amount is acceptable as they still manage to meet their short-term obligation.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Daniel Aiman, and today we are going to talk about the efficiency ratio for Tenaga Nasional Berhad. So what is the efficiency ratio? The efficiency ratio is a financial metric that measures a company's ability to generate profits relative to its expenses. It is commonly used in the banking industry but can be applicable to the other sectors as well. The efficiency ratio provides insight into how efficiently a company manages its costs and resources to generate the revenue. So let's go through to the first one, which is the average collection period. So as for 2021, Tenaga Nasional Berhad takes 68 days to collect its debt from its account receivable. And as for 2022, Tenaga Nasional Berhad takes about 154 days to collect their debts from account receivable. This means that 2021 is more efficient for them to collect its debt from their account receivables. So we move on to the second part, which is the total asset turnover. And as for 2021, Tenaga Nasional Berhad generates RM0.25 of its sales from their total assets. And as for 2022, they also generate 0.23 ringgit Malaysia of its sales from their total asset. And this means that Tenaga Nasional Berhad generate RM0.25 much more efficiently than 2022 of its sale from their total assets. And the third one is receivables turnover. For 2021, Tenaga Nasional Berhad has 5.37 times efficiency in collecting their receivable. Rather than 2022, it has 2.36 times efficiency in collecting their receivable. This means that Tenaga Nasional Berhad in 2021, it will be 5.37 times more efficient in collecting their receivables. And last but not least, for fixed asset turnover, for 2021, Tenaga Nasional Berhad has 0.62 times effectiveness in utilizing their equipment. Rather than 2022, it has 0.65 times effectiveness in utilizing their equipment. This can be means that Tenaga Nasional Berhad has 0.62 times effectiveness in utilizing their equipment in 2021, which is much more effective than the next year of it. So I think that's all for me. We go to the next presenter. Thank you.
Now we move to leverage ratio. A leverage ratio is a financial metric that measures the extent to which a company relies on the debt to finance its operations and also investments. It is calculated by dividing the company's total debt by its equity. It is showing the proportion of the debt relative to the company's own capital. Other than that, we can say that the higher leverage ratio indicates a higher level of debt and therefore a higher financial risk for the company. So the primary function of this leverage ratio is to assess the financial risk and stability of the company. So firstly, we must calculate the debt ratio. So to get the amount of the debt ratio, we need to calculate the total debt divided by the total assets. So in 2021, we calculate the total debt divided by total asset and we get 74.80%. So 74.80% is the proportion of the Tenaga Nasional Berhad's total assets financed by the debts. So in 2022, we divide from 154,000 14 ringgit 20 cent with 200,000 444 ringgit and 80 cents, and we get 76.84%. So 74.80% is the proportion of Tenaga Nasional Berhad's total assets financed by the debts in 2021. Meanwhile, 76.80% is the proportion of Tenaga Nasional Berhad's total assets financed by the debts in 2022. Okay, next element in leverage ratio is the debt to equity ratio. So the formula to get the debt to equity ratio is the total debt divided by the total equity. In 2021, the total debt is 134,752 ringgit 40 cents. Then we divide by 45,401 ringgit and 30 cents. We get 2.97 times. In 2022, after we calculate, we get 3.32 times. So, in 2021, Tenaga Nasional Berhad's total debt is 2.97 times its equity. Meanwhile, in 2022, Tenaga Nasional Berhad's total debt is 3.32 times its equity. So that is for the debt for equity ratio. Now, we move to the times interest and ratio. To get the amount of debt, we should divide the expenses before interest and tax with the interest expense. So the EBIT for 2021 is 2,334 ringgit. Meanwhile, the interest expense is 4,980 ringgit. So we get 0.47 times. For 2022, we should divide the EBIT, which is the total of EBIT is 3,319 ringgit 90 cents, by the interest expense, which is 5,451 ringgit 40 cents. Then we get the total is 0.61 times. So in 2021, Tenaga Nasional Berhad has 0.47 times of EBIT to cover its interest. Meanwhile, in 2022, Tenaga Nasional Berhad has 0.61 times of EBIT to cover its interest. So that's all for the leverage ratio. We move to our next presenter.
Profitability ratio assess a company's ability to earn profit through sales or operation, balance sheet asset or shareholder equity. They demonstrate how well a firm generates profit and value for its shareholders. It can reveal how well a company management manage its operation. Investors may use them in conjunction with other research to determine whether a company is a good investment. Probability ratio include margin and return ratio. Higher ratio are generally chosen over the lower ratio since they demonstrated success in converting sales to profit and in general may show a company's strength and advantage such as the ability to charge more or less for things while keeping expenses low. These ratios are used to compare a company's current performance to the previous performance or other company in the same industry or the industry average. A higher value relative to the previous value usually indicate that the company is doing well. Operating profit margin is a statistic that evaluates asset productivity in terms of generating return for creditor and stockholders. Okay, and they need to divide the company operational profit by itself and multiply by 100 to get the ratio. The operational profit margin of Tenaga Nasional Berhad in 2022 is 18.54%, more than it was in 2021 was 15.72%. Okay, Tenaga Nasional Berhad ability to meet the fixed expenses in debt interest in 2022 is demonstrated by this. Okay, then is the net profit margin. Okay, it divide a company net income by total revenue and multiply the result by 100. Okay, after deducting all the expenses including tax and interest, it compute the after tax profit per ringgit of sales. Okay, and then Tenaga Nasional Berhad net profit margin is on the 2021 was 6.59%, and then in 2022 is 6.25%. Okay, Tenaga Nasional Berhad profit more in 2021 more than 2022. Alright, next is return on asset. Okay, it is the crucial indicator of the company profitability since it assesses how well it managed and profit from its asset investment. It compute a company total return on all asset. Okay, Tenaga Nasional Berhad return on the asset in 2021 is 1.62%, up from 1.46% in 2022. Tenaga Nasional Berhad is more efficient in managing its asset in 2021 than in 2022, resulting in a higher net income. Okay, finally, the final component in the profitability ratio is the return on equity. Okay, it specifies the rate of return on common stockholder investment, often known as net value. Okay, Tenaga Nasional Berhad in 2021 is 6.43%, up from 6.31% in 2022. This shows that Tenaga Nasional Berhad financials in 2021 are better at earning cash internally and rely less on borrowing fund than in 2022.
Market ratio. So market ratio is actually where we will examine various elements of the company's stock. It also consists with mostly for the earnings and also the dividends. By doing this, by doing a market ratio, it will offer a valuable insights into the market's evaluation and especially the company's financial performance. Alright, the first element in the market ratio is earning per share. So earning per share, the formula is net income divided by number of ordinary share. In 2021, for the year 2021 and 2022, it indicates that there's a slight decrease from RM 0.6405 to RM 0.6035. So this decline in earning per share is suggesting that the company's profitability per share has slightly decreased over the year. So now is dividend per share. So dividend per share is the amount of dividend received by the ordinary shareholders for each unit of ordinary share. So the analysis from here is the dividend per share for 2021 and 2022 shows a significant decrease from RM 0.7990 to RM 0.3801. So this declination, it shows that the company paid a lower dividend to the shareholders in 2022 compared with the previous year, which is 2021. Now is dividend payout ratio. So it is the proportion of earning that is distributed as a dividend to the shareholder. So from here we can see that the dividend payout ratio of 1.25 in 2021, it shows that the company paid out more in the dividends than its earning per share, while on 2022, which is 0.63. So this suggests that a lower proportion of earning was distributed as a dividend. So it should consider these ratios to understand the company's dividend, so it can conclude a distribution strategy and its financial performance over the year. Price earning ratio. So it is an investor confidence in the firm's future prospects. So from this one, the analysis is the price to earnings ratio for Tenaga Nasional Berhad in 2021 was 1.46, and in 2022 it increased from 1.46 to 1.60. So this ratio shows how much investors are willing to pay for each unit of the company's earning. So in this case, the ratios are relatively low, but they're suggesting that the stock might be considered attractively priced compared to the earnings. So the last one is dividend yield. So dividend yield, it is the return earned on shares. So let's take a look. The dividend yield was for 2021 was 4.28%, and it increased to 4.78% in 2022. So the dividend yield represents that the return on investment in the form of dividends, and it has a higher percentage, and it indicates a better return for investor through dividends. However, it is essential for us, for the company, to consider other factors before making investment decision. But so far, yes, it is. It is a better return for investor through dividend.
So after analysing the financial ratios of Tenaga Nasional Berhad Company, we can conclude that the company is in a good financial condition. As we can see, the financial ratios show that the company has been able to maintain a stable financial position over the years. So the current ratio also has been consistently above 1. Then it is indicating that the company has enough current assets to cover its current liabilities. Next, the long-term debt to capital ratio has also been stable. So it is indicating that the company has been able to manage its long-term debt effectively. Then the profitability ratios also have been positive. So it is indicate that the company has been able to generate profits from its operations. Overall, or in a summary, the financial ratios suggest that the Tenaga Nasional Berhad Company is a financially stable and profitable company. So that's all from us. Thank you for listening.